Wait, so the guy at Molly's job's not... Okay. All right, welcome to Taste Take. If you're new here, we're doing a recap and review of every episode of the last season of Insecure. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular Taste Takers, let's see if episode 6... Get it? Because it's called Tired, okay? And I just... never mind. You know the drill. Supersonic JJ Fad recap of episode 5. All right, episode 5 started with Molly riding that dude's face. If you rewinded it, you're a freak. Rewound it? Rewounded it? After the ride, she finds out her mom had a stroke and she's in the hospital. She rushes over to find her family in the waiting room. The doctor comes over and tells the family that their mom's not going to make it. But this dude got the wrong, almost dead lady. When they get to the right room, they find out that she's stable, but she's still unconscious. The episode flips over to Issa at Nathan's house, pretending to still like this nigga, and she calls up Molly to check on their plans, and that's where she finds out about her mom having a stroke. Nathan drives Issa over to the hospital, and Issa clocks in for best friend duties and offers to get Molly a change of clothes from her crib. Nathan then drives Issa over to Molly's crib, where they find her dog Flavor Flav, and Nathan's like, we gotta walk this thing. So they walk that thing. While they're out, Issa gets a FaceTime call from her mom, who's super nosy and wants to know who she's out with. And Nathan has never been prouder to jump on screen and say, I'm her boyfriend. Soon after that, the dog gets loose, so they set out to find him. Back at the hospital, that's when Molly gets that call from her job, asking about that assignment that she didn't do yet. She says she got it, but we know she don't got it. Issa and Nathan decide to retrace their steps, figuring the dog would just come to them, and it actually does. All right, problem solved. And while they're all celebrating the fact that they don't have to tell Molly that they lost their dog, Issa tells Nathan she couldn't have done today without him, and that's why she loves him. Ugh. Last scene of the episode, when we're back at the hospital, Issa offers to get Molly some coffee. On the way there, who does she run into? Freaking Lawrence, of course. Boom. Episode over. Season 5, halftime show. So boom. Episode 6. It's called Tired, okay? It's written by Grace Edwards, shout out to Guyana, and it was directed by Insecure's own Natasha Rothwell, who plays our BFF, Kelly. And it was her directorial debut. We love to see it. So the episode starts off right where episode 5 ended off, where Issa saw Lawrence and Condola with the baby. But I guess this was a daydream because Issa did the whole Dave Chappelle, Kobe thing with the baby, and then Sparta kicked Condola in her face. In real life, Issa's at home Insta-stalking, or should I say, Issa-stalking, Lawrence, and she finds out that he moved back to LA, which we all knew he was gonna do. Next scene, we're at Nathan's house. Him and Issa are smashing, and for some reason, she wants him to say, I love you, mid-smash. Who wants to hear their first I love you mid-smash? That gotta be the lowest barrier to entry I love you of all the I love yous in the I love you galaxy. Anyway, next scene we're at the barbershop where everyone, including Nathan, is complaining that this dude Suge is always late. Apparently he brings in some celebrity clients, but right now he got 4 non-celebrity dudes sitting there waiting because he's not there. Nathan sees these dudes getting frustrated, so he offers to cut one of them since Suge still ain't there yet. And let's take a second, because barbers are a very sensitive topic in the black male community. Now, we all know black men don't cheat on their women, but that's doubly true for their barbers. So for the dudes out there, do you let your main barber keep you waiting, or do you let someone else cut you? Personally, I can't wait that long, especially knowing this nigga could just show up at any time. It's one thing if he said, all right, I'll be there in 2 hours. I could just leave and come back. But to be sitting there reading them old-ass Jet magazines all day, nah, we're not doing that. Anyway, sorry for the tangent. That was weighing heavy on my spirit. The next scene, we're back at the hospital. Issa just brought Molly's whole family some food because they're still waiting for her mom to wake up, and Molly's away at this work retreat. Then we see Issa trying to get these kids, designers, artists, I don't know what that group was. She's trying to get them to collaborate with The Block, and they're thinking about it until they realize that she's the same one that did the fashion show with Crenshaw. So I guess they saw him dragging her on Twitter, and now they don't want to work with her. This dude is messing up the whole brand. Episode cuts back to Molly getting drinks with her coworkers during that retreat. They're all bonding and reminiscing about how annoying she used to be. Damn. Everybody hated the old Molly. They keep turning up, and the next day, Molly wakes up with a hangover, and she finds some dude's watch, and she has no idea whose it is. She goes downstairs to meet the team and apologizes for missing the morning activities. She then asks if anyone's missing a watch, and Torian's like, yeah, that's my watch. He proceeds to show her videos of her drunk twerking that she has no recollection of. I really don't understand the purpose of this whole scene, but we're gonna keep rocking. Next scene, we have Issa pulling up at Crenshaw's workshop, factory, whatever it is. She pulled up with some dry ass brownies trying to make amends with this dude. But also, if you drag me on Twitter like that, even if it's my fault, what I won't be doing is bringing you baked goods. But Issa going Issa, and she thinks them stiff ass brownies are actually gonna do something. But of course, they don't, because Crenshaw's still mad that Issa didn't want him to express his art how he wanted to. And for some reason, he thinks it's cool to respond on Twitter the way he did. Either way, nothing is resolved. Issa takes said brownies and leaves. Quite possibly another pointless scene. Now we're back at the barbershop and Suge finally shows up. Everyone's shading him for being late, and somehow he thinks it's cool to be mad at Nathan for taking his client. I guess he expected the dude to just sit there until he had dreads. Anyway, this is where Suge gets wild disrespectful, and he tells Nathan that things have been whack ever since he showed up, and that he needs to worry about his own bipolar ass. Which, for as pointless as I think Nathan is, I'm never gonna come for his bipolardom. At this point, Nathan's just kind of taking it. He gets that angry Nathan face, but he doesn't say anything to Suge, much less beat his ass. He just turns around and walks away. He was on that Michelle Obama starter pack when they go low. Back at the retreat, Torian and Molly are working on this big presentation together. As soon as it starts, Molly's phone starts blowing up with texts from her brother Curtis, and she has no idea whether or not this is an update on her mom's status. Even though if your mom regained consciousness after having a whole stroke, I think your brother would call you and not text you. Also, how you got your phone buzzing so loud like that? This is a meeting. Somehow, they get through the presentation, largely thanks to Torian. Later on that night, they're getting drinks, and Torian's like, what's up? I'm not usually this much better at the job than you. And Molly finally reveals that her mom's in the hospital, and he's like, what the hell? Why didn't you just tell me that? He gave her the whole we're a team speech and also confided in her that last year, his brother was going through cancer treatments. You never know what people are going through. So, be nice out there. It's free. As the episode comes to a close here, we see Issa in line at a food truck. Imaginary friend Condola pops up, and she starts bragging about how Lawrence proposed to her, how he's making $1 billion a month, and how his dick got 2 inches longer. Look, people, I told you in the beginning who wrote the episode, and it wasn't Chris Tate. I'm just giving you the recap. Anyway, then imaginary Condola kicks Issa into the trash, which also, if these are Issa's daydreams, how are you getting kicked in the trash in your own daydreams? You're supposed to be winning everything. It gotta be like, you get the good stuff. These are nightmares. Next scene, we're back at the hotel with Molly. She finally gets that call from her brother Curtis, letting her know that her mom woke up and she might be able to go home tomorrow. Even though I was like, wait a minute. She's not talking, but she can go home tomorrow? Like, man, the hospital really be trying to get you up out of there. As soon as she hangs up, she gets a knock on the door, and it's Torian who got her a swag bag. We then get to watch 45 seconds of awkward sexual tension between these two. Like, where did this come from? Also, he's not gay. Did I make that up? I guess I made that up. Also, why is Molly wearing a ring? Did anyone else catch that? Like a ring, like on the actual good hand of like, I'm taken. Anyway, last scene of the episode, we're back with Issa and Nathan. Yay. Nathan's complaining about his tough day at work, of course, without actually telling her what happened. Issa takes about 5 seconds to make it about her and finally confronts him about not saying I love you. And he's like, girl, you're all over the place. First, you're crying in my mouth. Then you say you want to be more than friends. Then you say you want to take it slow. Then you say, I love you. Damn, you got a point there. And right when he got Issa against the ropes, she says, let's just drop it. Which, how do people just sit there and eat dinner angry like that? Oh, and that's the end of the episode. So what's my take? This episode really didn't do it for me. It's probably my least favorite episode of the season so far. I imagine people enjoyed the little daydream scenes, but what actually happened this episode? I imagine people enjoyed the daydream. Imagine daydream. Okay. Before this, my least favorite episode was that beach day, the earthquake thing. But at least in that one, there was some funny lines. You got that Nathan and Velma tension. You got Kelly, which makes every episode better. I really won't be thinking about this episode when the season's over. And what the hell is Issa talking about? You were damn near drooling seeing Lawrence at the end of episode 5. You wanted to Steph Curry his whole child. And you want Nathan to say he loves you? I'm never going to be Team Nathan, but I am on his side here. But bro, you also can't let the lazy nigga at work punk you. And you gonna let him bully you into leaving the whole city? If that's not the most Fresh Prince of Bel-Air shit I ever seen. And then Torian and Molly, huh? Who asked for that? But you know what? I'm so sick of seeing Issa and Nathan, I'm willing to see where this Torian thing goes. Oh, and Crenshaw, like, grow up. What ex-con is that petty? I'm gonna give Insecure Season 5, Episode 6, 2.5 stars. I'm really curious to see where I have this episode ranked, and if y'all was like me and thought it was just as dry as those brownies Issa brought Crenshaw. Next week I got more faith because we got the crew back. We got Tiffany back, we got Kelly back. You already know what time it is. All right, question of the week. Do you think that Issa actually wants Lawrence back, or do you think she just doesn't want Condola to have this new and improved Lawrence? What do you think? As always, thanks for checking out Taste Take. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, well, you can answer the question of the week. I think Issa wants Lawrence, but wishes the kid wasn't there. But she can't have that. So I guess that's why she's daydreaming. In the comments, let me know what you think about the episode. It was kind of dry. It was just kind of dry. There's a lot of hate for those brownies today. I'm just not a brownie guy. I'm just more of like a chocolate cookie, some cake, ice cream cake. Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace.